Hi, beautiful Virgo. This is Mary Ellen coming to you from Moonrise Cottage for your February 2018 Soul Tarot reading. I'm very thrilled to be here. If you're new, welcome. And for all the returning viewers, welcome back. I'm very eager to speak with you as always. And before I forget, I want to let people know I am using the beautiful Celtic Wisdom Tarot deck. And the image that you are seeing is the beautiful foundation of art. That is the spirit theme, the message that is guiding this reading. It is the first card that comes out when I sit to channel messages from spirit using the cards. I have been asked by my spirit guides for the year 2018, please start with the image, because there is information and energy that apparently is coming through the images. So gaze into that for just a moment and allow that, Spirit saying, allow that to just sift down into your consciousness. The idea that is being displayed, if you will, about the theme of your reading. So clearly we know you're going very deep. I have a lot to say about this reading. I'll give you some teaser ads, okay? As we go along. So I'm going to toggle over and say hello so you can see me. Hi, everybody. It's so wonderful to be here with you. Thank you for all your patience and all your love and all your encouragement as I continue my journey along with you. So most of you know I posted a little video. It's been crazy. It's been a really intense winter here so far. We've had all kinds of weather on each end of the spectrum. I'm just recovering from the flu. Everything's fine. I'm doing great. The sun is shining today. And like the image that we see, I'm going to toggle back. That's where I've been. How about you guys? I'm wondering how it's going for you. So for those of you that are new, if you want a private reading, I offer 3 different types of readings in terms of length. I offer lovers readings. I offer my services as a medium if you'd like to be in touch with someone on the other side. If they've been in touch with you and you'd like to have a conversation or get some information about that, definitely be in touch. I'm happy to provide you with that. And I am offering now distance healing. The other big news is that my website is finally coming out. I'm really excited. It probably won't drop. It probably won't publish until around the 10th. It is moonrisecottagesoultarot.com, just to keep it clean and easy. It's going to be really awesome. I'm very excited about it. You'll be able to go to the website. I'm going to have it below the video. It'll be listed there in the description box. You're going to be able to go and see all the different services that I offer, learn a little bit more about me and about Moonrise Cottage, and you'll be able to choose the service that you want. Just click on it. It'll tell you a little bit of information. It'll take you right to the PayPal link so you can make your reservation, and then to the calendar where you will be able to book yourself. I'm so excited about that. I think that's going to save everybody a lot of time. You'll get a reminder email the day before your reading. Well, first you'll get a confirmation email when you book. Then you're going to get a reminder the day before your reading so you don't forget. So I'm very excited about that. The website will continue to grow and evolve over time, given the crush of winter, I guess. It's been, I'm behind. I feel as though I'm way behind my own schedule. So thanks again for your patience. And if you don't know and you want to get in touch with me before the website publishes, scroll below the video, click the words Show More in the description box. A large tab opens. Everything you need to know is there. All right? And I will let everyone know when the website has published. I think it'll be out the 10th, definitely by the 10th, and it may still grow and evolve over time, but we're going to get the first bit out. Okay? So let's toggle back. The beautiful foundation of art. When the cards come out, you're going to understand this as the theme. So just keep this notion in your head. Back in the ancient days, there was a tradition among seekers, people who sought to be wisdom holders, who sought to be poets, who were the wisdom holders and the bards, if you will. They were the folks who kept the sacred information and the stories and the history alive. As part of their training, they went into a hut that was specifically made so that you were plunged into darkness. They would lie down on a sort of a bed of grass. They would put a heavy stone over their heart and work on opening their third eye in order to be in touch with the universe, basically, what we would call the universe. I don't think they had that concept in the same way we do, but to travel into the mystical realm and to gain whatever experience they could muster, so to speak. So there's the card. Look at that. It's really beautiful. I love that this is sacred male energy. Look at that. Just an effort at awakening and being in touch here on this plane. But you see the fronds that come in from the outside? That is about the connection to the mystical realm. Okay? So this month, it's all about the foundation. And that's what this person is engaged in. He is building a foundation of, Spirit's saying higher knowledge. I try not to put a value on it, right? The connection, I think, with the divine. So that's what this person is engaged in as a student. So this month, that's the theme. That's what we're doing, Virgo. Okay? I'm a Virgo, for those of you that don't know. I have Aries rising, but I have always, this has been the central part of my life, is this. Look at your chart, Spirit saying, find out where all your planets are. Understand yourself. This month, the theme that's been coming out in every reading so far has all Spirit's talking to me, sorry. All the notions are continuing that came to maturity in 2017. Spirit's talking about last year, okay? So having come to maturity through that journey, having come through the solstice, with our tapestry having been formed, we walked into the days of the solstice. Through the sacred passage tombs, at least the messages that come through me, because I took that journey, and then out into the world. And so what is happening now is we're in a new phase. 2018 is going to be very different, very deeply mystical. And we are in a process of new growth now based on the foundation and the tapestry of energy that we built in 2017. All right, and each sign, every single sign had an initiation moment. It was a lot of growth. So if you're new and you haven't seen those videos, go back to 2017. Definitely watch the videos from October toward the end of the year. And if you want to get an overview, what I recommend to people is go to the video, skip forward to like the last 10 minutes, and you'll hear the wrap up, and you'll sort of get an idea. So if you want to do that, because I'm biased, right? I think it would be a really fun thing to do. And I keep trying to figure out how to, who would be able to edit videos for me so that I could make a video for each sign. So that's my fantasy life. It probably won't happen. But inform yourself. That's the message from Spirit, because you're going really deep. And you're going to be building this foundation of being able to be in touch with the sacred realm very deeply. So what these folks would do is they would go in the hut. They would spend 24 hours in there. And when they came out, they would write poetry, write down the things, the visions that they had, the things that came to their mind and their heart, and keep a journal and translate that into poetry and song and spoken word about the information that was coming through to them from the spirit realm. Okay? So the very next card that comes out in the readings when I'm doing the spread is the card that indicates your threshold, the way in which you stand in this moment. And it's incredibly beautiful. It's very closely aligned with the foundation of art. It is a major arcana card. It is the beautiful rememberer of lore. So it's interesting that these two come together, because the rememberer of lore is exactly, it's the growth into which the foundation of art, the seeker, wants to go. And so, again, Spirit is clearly telling us that we are going in that direction. There's the card. Sorry, the light is shifting. This happens every day. The light is shifting, so I'm getting a little glare. Look at that. Beautiful, sacred, male energy, deep in its sacred set point, becoming the vessel, if you will, energetically. The person who remembers is able to connect and keep the sacred information encapsulated and be a vessel to remember all that is sacred and be able to transmit that from within. All right, let me toggle back because look at the way these two reflect each other. And in this gorgeous rememberer of lore, there is a tradition. So we are, Virgo, within our earth sign set point, if you will. We are given this task. What Spirit's been talking about is these readings that come out in January and February are explaining to us the way in which we continue to emerge into our energetic set point, into our astrological destination, Spirit is saying. Meaning your deepest identity. Because now that you are in connection with the other beings that are here, because we have created this tapestry of energy, it is the prophecy that came through me in all of 2017 and all the work we did, the shift and change, and the movement was toward creating this tapestry of energy. So I have to tell you, something really astounding happened the other day. Let me toggle back. I look at the news from a certain perspective, right? There's all the chat. There's all the surface chatter. I don't even have to go into it. You know what's going on. Oh my God, right? Everywhere. It's just, there's still Pluto still in the first house of Capricorn. So there's a lot of upheaval. There's a lot of chaos. That's what's meant to be. Underneath that, something else is happening and we are emerging. So this notion, this prophecy about a tapestry that we were creating in the astrological wheel so that we could connect with each other energetically in order to bring shift and change. About 2 weeks ago, I found a little news story, just hardly paying any attention. The news structure was not giving it much attention. It's big news because science has now uncovered and can prove that we literally are connected, all humans, by virtue of our brain waves. That's what Spirit was talking about. And so now it has been revealed. I'm really excited, as you can tell. It blew my mind when I saw that. I was like, oh my God, that's what Spirit was talking about. We get to know that it's real now. And, we can have faith, we can have our belief system, we can have our philosophy, but because we're humans and we have a brain and a thinking process, it's very helpful for us to know, Spirit saying, for sure, by virtue of science. So I think that chatter that was coming last year was literally a prophecy about what was about to be proven. Now we know. Just by being, and it's what was coming out of me. Just stand in your place and allow your energy to be intact. And you are doing your job. Okay? So here's the other thing that's been coming through. I want to say it right now before I get lost and forget. The other notion that came through towards the end of the year last year was the fact that you are your purpose. I do a lot of readings. I talk to people literally all over the world now. Everybody wants to know, well, what am I supposed to do? What's my purpose? I don't know. Am I doing the right thing? Spirit is telling us through what comes through to me. You are your purpose. Do not doubt yourself and don't worry about destiny. You do your vibrational work, your spiritual work, your internal work, and you can feel secure in the notion that you are reaching your purpose. The factors of that, once you do that work and you get really embedded in your own self energetically, understanding the spirit nature of your being, walking inside this human frame, whatever the factors of your life are, on some level, it's irrelevant. And I don't mean to make light of your challenges because I have them too. You know, we're all souls here. We're just trying to make it. This year, we are meant to come in deep contact with our spirit selves and really be in touch with and understand that part of our nature that has been hidden to us. Now it is evolving. So that's why Spirit was talking around the solstice about emerging and evolving through the days of the solstice, coming through the passage tomb, metaphorically. That's why I was sent there. I believe it now 100%. So Spirit's talking about that. Let me transition back so you can look at this while I load up another picture for you. And I think this is something, you've seen it, I probably shared it with you. When I went to the Boyne Valley in Ireland, I had my sacred journey. I intended to go to all the sacred places that had to do with feminine, sacred feminine energy. It's not what happened. I ended up in the sacred passage tombs, and I learned I didn't know anything about them. I knew that they existed, but that was kind of it. The way things unfold, right? Destiny. I ended up in the passage tomb in this way. And I had very profound experiences in those places. Went into total darkness, connecting into the universe from these places that were built and back in the Neolithic Stone Age. It's, like the pyramids, you can't figure out how these things were built. They're still standing. They haven't moved an inch. No water gets in. Nothing's growing on the inside. It is a chamber in which the cremated remains of people who passed away were placed. There are 3 altar bowls in each direction, right? So what we call the 4 directions, north, south, east, and west. These things are built in cruciform. And if you look at the image of a crucifix, especially the Irish cross, where you see the image of a crucifix with a circle around the top, I believe when the Christian religion came rising through that part of Europe, that symbol was taken from the passage tombs in order to help people make the transition and to convince them really to make the transition into Christianity because they were pagans, basically. So that alone, very interesting. And here we are. Here I am in the passage tomb. I go in, I sit down. At 4 knocks, the door shuts. I propped it open because it was literally no light. It's like being in a cave. You can't see anything. So I went in, I put my blanket down, I started doing the readings. And the readings came out at 4 or 5 different passage tombs, the readings for October. And that's why I'm saying go look at those so you have a foundation for this message. When I was done at 4 knocks, a gust of wind came by and reopened the door. So the door shut, I sat down, I got the cards out, the door shut. Scared the life out of me. I was quaking in my boots. It took me a few minutes to compose myself because I was plunged into darkness, like this gentleman in the Foundation of Art. I had a very profound experience there. And then when I was done, a gust of wind came by and blew the door open, and that's what I saw. Believe me, I was overcome with knowledge, with understanding. It was an epiphany for me. All the things we talk about, most of us have heard this legend, this thought, that when a person passes away, we go through a tunnel and we see a bright light and we move in that direction. And there I was, sitting there, and of course, I just was in awe. So Spirit is talking about, in 2018, this is the purpose. And that's why Spirit's saying, you are your purpose. Don't doubt yourself. That's where you're going. You're going deep. You're going through a tunnel into the other side so that you can remember the most sacred form of your existence. And the purpose of that is to transmit the wisdom by which we are all meant to live. Right? So the Rememberer of Lore is about the essential lore that we need to keep ever in our central focus. It is about upholding this tradition and sharing these ideas. It is a moment and a state of genius, right? The genius of spiritual awareness of the self and the faithful maintenance, if you will, of that task. That is the aspect in which you walk through the month of February and the place into which you continue to emerge and evolve. So the first couple months of this year, Spirit is telling me, we're going deep. We're going ever deeper because the work of 2017 is done. As you walk through this month, these are the concepts that will be your journey. Look at that, Virgo. There is an amazing story that has unfolded through this reading. I think there are 5 major arcana cards in the spread, pardon me. There are 2 prophecies. There is a shaman here. There are 2 shamans here. So wait till you see these cards unfold. So given everything I just said, the very first step on your human walk in the month of February is a prophecy. It is the augury of art. It is a beginning, a new beginning in a place where you come into the ability, the very first step, if you will, of that which is to come. It's very exciting to me, given what is happening in your general set point, the 2 cards on the top. So the augury of art, let me toggle over and show you the card, is about, again, beautiful male energy. We have the power, Virgo, right? This is about energy set point. And again, for those of you that are new, don't get lost in gender. It's not about that. Everything that I talk about has to do with energy set point, all right? And Spirit's talking about central focus. The type of energy, right? In human form, here on this plane of existence, male and female makes a difference, right? It's an expression of energy so that we can come to a place of understanding. And that's what's happening, right? So there's a yin and yang to all this. Both energies in their most sacred set point are really important for our destiny. In these moments, we see these 3 initial cards, and actually all the first 5 cards are all male-oriented energy. So a prophecy, an augury, about a new skill set being developed and being able to send that energy and those intentions forward. And that is the energy set point of the male energy, right? That's the purpose of it in one phase, right? That's not the whole totality of it, but essentially I think you all understand what I mean when I say that. There's very youthful here. This young man is bold, he's independent, he's secure in his placement, he has the blue trousers, he has been transformed. He is open from the will center, Spirit's saying all the way, I was going to say the throat, to the throat center, but Spirit's talking about all the way up to the crown chakra. It's interesting. So a beautiful new beginning toward building the shiny, beautiful city, if you will, that we want. And Spirit's telling me that's what it looks like. When we all come into our energy set point, that's what the tapestry looks like. If you could see the aura of the tapestry, that's what's coming through, right? So let's take a look at what the very next card. Given everything that I've already said, that is astounding. That is the King of Battle. And today, I'm recording this reading on the 31st of January. Today is a full moon. It is a blue moon and a supermoon. The moon is very close to the earth. It's the second full moon of the month. And there is an eclipse today, Virgo. So we've entered into the eclipse season, which is when I really started doing my readings. I've been on YouTube for a year now. I came to YouTube because of all the information that was streaming through to me about the eclipses and the year that was coming. And I just needed an outlet. Frankly, I never imagined myself doing this. But here, that's destiny, right? Okay, so Spirit's reiterating. That's what happens when you work to become aware of your spirit self. Your destiny unfolds, you don't have to worry about it because you are your purpose, right? The things that happen, those are secondary and they will unfold naturally like the organic experience that I'm having, okay? And you, Spirit says, and you. So there you are. The King of Battle has come to accompany you on this new journey, a prophecy on the day of the full moon eclipse. And because I'm so behind, because I had the flu and the crazy weather, my internet was down for 4 days, I really wanted to do a series of videos about these eclipses. I might get to them after the fact. So keep a watch for that. I think it's important to check in because of the cycle nature of all of this. So the King of Battle was a warrior. He was a sacred leader. His hand was severed in a battle. And back in the ancient days, you were not allowed to have a seat of power if you were not whole. When his hand was severed, he had to step off the throne. And then through a long mystical process, he regained the throne. One of his followers fashioned a silver hand that he was able to strap on a prosthetic hand. That allowed him to come back and sit on the throne. And while he was there, his human hand regrew through some mystical process. So that's the notion. When we see this augury, let me toggle back. When you see this prophecy, new ideas, new abilities, something very skillful about to unfold and begin to build. And then we see the King of Battle sitting right next to it, who had this epic experience, this mystical experience of having some part of himself severed so that he lost his way, he lost his power. And through a process, was able to regain that. And it was a very deeply mystical process. And that is what Spirit has been chattering about in my ear all morning for you, Virgo. The King of Battle is the person who created the hut into which the students would go when they were seeking, to understand the deepest aspect of the universe. So it is enormously impactful that the King of Battle is here, sitting right below the Rememberer of Lore. It's astounding to me. I'm going to toggle back a couple times and just let you see that. So as we go through the reading, take a look at the way the cards align in both vertical rows and horizontal rows, and in rows from the bottom to the top from each corner, okay? So take a look at the diagonal row of cards. There are many messages that are embedded in these readings. Basically what happens for me is when I'm doing these readings, I'm trying to get the video out. After the video's done and after the cards come out, information streams through to me. It keeps going for me for 5 or 6 hours. I could never say it all. Who would watch that, right? So I try really hard. I struggled with that notion last year because so much would come to me and I think, oh my God, what do I do about that? So Spirit is telling me, okay, silly girl, remind people. It's not all going to come from right here. You have the ability to look into these cards and see the messages. It's going to speak to you. So this year, going forward, I'm just going to try to remember to tell everybody, take a look. See what comes into your heart chakra because you have raised your vibration enough that these messages can come through. So, look who's sitting next to the King of Battle. Another major arcana card, all right? So, that is the second one that has come, and it's in the last phase of the human walk in February. So I believe your journey this month goes very deep. You continue to emerge, you continue to regrow, to become aware of your deepest sacred aspect. And upon so doing, you set off on a new soul journey. So your whole life this month, Virgo, is deep across the veil. Your spirit self is working very hard to reemerge into your consciousness. And when that happens, I believe life on Earth is going to shift in a way that's very profound. So I believe this year, that is going to be the primary focus of our work. And the first couple months of 2017 are going to be all about continuing the emergence into your consciousness, into your being, so that you can walk in that way and develop the strength and the tools that you will need, the skills, because we see a prophecy about new skill going forward. And I think this continues for many years. So this year, because we're getting closer to the age of Aquarius, this process begins. All right, let me toggle over and show you the card. There's the soul. What Spirit's been directing me to talk about lately is the Kundalini awakening. So we see all the spirals along the spine of this gentleman. All right, and you see his third eye? He's traveling. He's having an awakening. And in that moment, his spirit arises. It goes through the portal, which opens on the full moon, the lunar eclipse, right? It's happening literally right now while I'm doing the reading, which, I was stressing because the readings are coming out late, but as always, it's perfect, right? Spirit's laughing in the background saying, that's what I mean. Just everybody relax, take a deep breath. Know that you're going in the right direction. And Spirit says it, and you're doing a great job, right? So the soul rises from the human form and walks out into the sacred realm to have the next phase of its journey. And look, there's the spiral above its head. The birth, life, death spiral. Okay, Spirit's talking about the sacred order of shift and change and growth and deliverance. That's an interesting word. And there's the sacred bowl out of which all comes. All right. So, Virgo, we my perspective on being a Virgo, the depth of the connection that I have, I guess I should try to hold this up, here in the world, okay, while I'm walking in the world, it often feels like this to me. I feel as though I'm having this really mystical experience. I pick up on the energy of the trees and the animals, that's why I live out in the woods. There's something about the vibration of walking through the world that's really profound for me. I believe that is going to be true for you. I think everybody's coming into their moment of clairvoyance, and it may be a beginning point. I think you can totally expect for that to happen, given the nature of these cards. And wait till you see the bridge card. It is right along with all of this. Every single thing that I've said, take a look at these cards. I'm going to be quiet for a moment and just let you look into them. Look at that. On the left side, sitting together are two prophecies. And each one of those prophecy cards, the individual, if you will, in the card, is looking at the other cards. There's a deep message there, Virgo. The prophecy about new skills and a prophecy about knowledge. And it is about sacred knowledge. And we see an indication of the king of battle, sacred spiritual battle, who had to learn, had to evolve, got knocked off his throne, and had to find his way back. And that's what Spirit's talking about. But it has everything to do with our soul journey. So I think this message is extremely, the word that's coming through is exacting. Spirit wants to speak in ways that are really clear. Okay, Spirit's telling me as if it was written down. Okay, and it's not written down. I don't do channeled writing. Maybe that's going to start. I don't know. But, the whole notion of the bard. And this beautiful, Spirit's calling her a shamaness, in the augury of knowledge. And there's something really, Spirit's saying freaky. Isn't that weird? Okay, look. Do you see the eclipse? Look. Spirit's talking to you. Don't doubt it. This really, it gave me a shiver when these cards came out. And look, in there, that it took me a while to notice that part of the card. That's kind of the sacred eye. That's the universe, right? The spiritual realm. Talking directly to you, Virgo, on this day of the eclipse. This woman, the prophecy about knowledge. This is about self-activation, self-actualization. And what she is literally doing, she's been completely transformed by virtue of the notification of the color of her garments. She's very wise. Spirit's calling her a shaman, although the notion is not really there in this card, but because it's a prophecy, I think. She is literally touching the Leophale, the stone of destiny. What I love about this is that they are both here. And it is the male energy that gives the impetus to move things forward. But it must be accompanied by the sacred feminine. Because the sacred feminine is the portal, if you will. And when you think about the function of the female form on this planet, biologically speaking, okay, we are a portal. Our physical being is the portal through which souls who want to incarnate come, right? And that's why people who have this physical form, in a way, the nature of our sacred being, very profound. We need each other, right? And I know there's all kinds of stuff, there's gender fluidity, whatever. Spirit's saying, don't worry about that stuff. That has its own purpose. It is to be loved and respected like everything else. It's helping us understand something we don't quite grasp yet. That's part of why that is occurring. That's what I'm getting, okay? So for this moment, for the purposes of the readings that I do using these cards, we're using gender set points, but it's about energy. It's about the way we travel on a spiritual basis and what that means. Really intense. Huge prophecy, the way these cards are connected, okay? So let's take a look. Sorry, I meant to transition over. All right, now we're going to take a look at the spirit walk. What's been coming through to me is the way in which, in 2018 particularly, we are going to be able to see the relationship between our human experience and our soul experience. Spirit keeps saying, the reflection of heaven on earth. And that is a notion that comes out of the way I was socialized as an American from a Christian-based family, okay? Spirit, so when my brain tries to interpret the messages, I'm well aware that it is interpreted through my filter. And I do my best to overcome that and to make the messages as universal as possible. So don't get stuck on gender. Don't get stuck on my words. Sometimes I use references. Take that as widely as possible. All right. So here are the cards on the spirit realm. And again, I'm just going to be quiet for a moment, if I can, okay? And allow you to just look. Look at the vertical rows. Look at the horizontal rows. Look at the diagonal rows of cards. So that you can see the reflection of these things and the deeper story. Look at that, Virgo. Look at the left vertical row of cards. Spirit's saying that's where you're going this year. That's why there are two prophecies. It's about your travel through the year. And the goal is going to be to perfect your energy. So we have two prophecies on the left-hand vertical row. And sitting on top of that is the last card, the final card in the major arcana of this deck. It is a very sacred card. It is the perfecter of energy. Okay? So the perfecter has let me toggle so I can show you the card close up. There's a lot to say about this. Spirit's been talking to me about the swastika. All day yesterday, talking about the swastika was coming out in the readings. All right, look. Do you see the breastplate? That signifies a cycle that takes a full year. There are swastikas on this breastplate. That is about the sacred, the most sacred form of energy that is very connected. So Spirit's talking about Queen Maeve and her chair, and darn it, I don't have a picture loaded up for that. You can see on a playlist on my channel, Queen Maeve's chair. There's a little playlist about the sacred sites in the Boyne Valley. There's a couple of videos there, and there's one video that some gentleman that I don't know who he is made a little video about Queen Maeve's chair, into which there is carved a swastika. It's 5,000 years old. It is a very profound symbol that was meant to turn the wheel of energy, right? And in modern history, in this age, in our century, like a lot of the things we see happening, right? It was turned into a negative. And the destruction that came was profound. And now it is time to reclaim these things and use them as they are meant to be used, right? After all the upheaval and the destruction. So again, we see the notion of the triple spiral at the root chakra. There's the sacred altar bowl that exists inside the passage tomb. All right? You have all the tools you need. There's the sacred spiral again. An awakening at the crown chakra. Okay? A Kundalini awakening this year, prophesied for you as you walk, your human walk. Okay, Spirit saying again, as in heaven. What does that saying go? Something about on earth as it is in heaven. I think it's part of a Christian prayer. It might. I was raised Irish Catholic, so it must come out of that tradition because it just sort of pops into my mind. So the reflection of heaven on earth, all those notions, I'm guessing that that's true on some level in every religious tradition all across the globe. That's how it seems to me, right? If you distill all those things down, they come to the same place. Spirit's saying, it's this. That's what all those traditions and all those prayers and all that religion's all about, to help us go home and have our journey. So this year, you're going. There's no question in my mind. It's on. Virgo, I couldn't be happier. And look, sitting right next to that, look at the middle vertical row of cards, right? On the bottom, we have the King of Battle, who sits in support and helping us understand our human journey into this place of becoming the Rememberer of Lore, a very sacred set point. And sitting right above the Rememberer of Lore, signifying what is happening on the spiritual realm, because you're on a soul journey, reflecting what's going on in your life here on earth, that's the Queen of Battle. So the King and Queen of Battle literally surround you and hold you while you are on this journey this year. Virgo, it's so intensely beautiful. There you are in the center, and you know it's pink. That is about new growth and renewal and shift and change. That is why the perfecter of energy is pink. And look at the swirl of energy around you, Virgo, as you walk through this year. Whoops, sorry, I'm holding it upside down. That is the beautiful shamaness. Okay, this is one depiction of the Morrigan. She is a sacred queen. She is a warrior queen. Do you see how activated she is at the third eye? She is literally able to have sacred vision and travel back and forth between the realms. The Queen of Battle, here to guide you through a very mystical journey. So we see you embedded in between the Queen and the King of Battle. So here on earth, it's going to be about male energy, the impetus to move you forward in the way that it is meant because of the prophecy. The energy is present for you to take this journey. Above you is the portal through which you must travel. The sacred feminine energy, the queen and the king, here to protect you and accompany you on your journey. And sitting right next to the queen of battle is the king of art. Mind-blowing. Okay? That is the place on the spiritual realm that you are going. Look at that. Highly activated at the heart chakra. The place into which this knowledge is received and then transmitted out. He stands next to the Queen of Battle. He is very similar in his existence. Right? He is a warrior. This is an indication of a very sacred person in the Celtic traditions. What he's actually doing is he's holding the spear of Lugh. That was a very, the spear of Lugh, this warrior in the ancient Celtic tradition, had a sacred ability to remove obstacles and find the path forward. He's standing right next to the Queen of Battle. And I'm going to toggle back. I want you to look at his placement. So on the bottom row, your human journey, you were sent on this soul mission out into the mystical realm through the sacred place that has been prepared for you by the King of Battle. The sacred hut, the foundation of art, spiritual arts. And above that, we see the King of Art supporting your transition through the portal. So the foundation of art prepares you, and the King of Art removes the obstacles so that you can travel back and forth to the mystical realm and understand yourself and begin to really become aware of yourself as a spirit being walking in a human form. Amazing, amazing set of cards. Virgo, God willing, Goddess willing, I'll be here with you month to month. We're going to talk about this a lot, I believe, because of two prophecies. This is about coming into the central core of your true being and being able to walk in the joy of that knowledge. So, first we have to find our way. That's what this story is about. And it's telling us where we're going. And then, Spirit's saying, and it's true, I find it to be true, then you have to develop a tolerance for that. It's like any growth, right? A baby is born. Spirit's talking about the cycle of human incarnation and growth. So, a baby is born. It has to go through a certain period of growth in order to be ready to crawl. And then eventually it takes its first step. And then it learns to develop language by listening. That's what Spirit's talking about, okay? Listening to what comes through to you. That is the purpose of the foundation of art. That is the purpose of going into the sacred hut in order to travel deep within yourself, to become aware of yourself and understand that you are your purpose. Spirit's talking about, one step at a time. Okay, I don't know why. Spirit's talking to me about 12-step programs. I think Spirit's trying to say, there's going to, 12 months. That's what it is. Let me toggle back. Actually, let me just hold the card up. Spirit's talking about 12 months. Cycle of a whole year. That's what this card's about. Okay? So every month this year, there's going to be a step of unfolding and growth so that we can become Spirit says, actually aware of our spirit nature. And when we do that, the way in which we look outward from our human form is going to change. Wow, there's just a lot streaming through. So let me show you the last card, and you'll understand perhaps a little bit deeper about the stage that Spirit says is being set. You've seen this card before, but again, just look at it in light of the journey. Look at that, Virgo. Look at the center horizontal row of cards. That is the core of the message. That is how deep you're going. There is a prophecy about spiritual self-activation, an acknowledgement in order to become the wisdom holder and be able to transmit that out into the world around you. And by taking the step and making the commitments to take this soul journey to meet this prophecy, it's no surprise to me that the first step is for the purpose of an initiation. So this is the dedicator, actually, of lore. It is about an initiation. It is about stepping, like the soul journey, stepping kind of blindfolded. Accepting sacred information. Becoming blind, if you will, like going into that hut and being willing to be a supplicant and to take on the mantle of the sacred realm, the unseen realm. Okay? Look at that. Major Arcana card. Being willing to dedicate yourself to the mystery of existence, to the mysteries of the universe, in order to become able to take the journey that will happen for you over the course of 2018. What a gorgeous reading. What a beautiful event on the day of the lunar eclipse on a blue moon. Beautiful. Virgo, have a wonderful month. Spirit saying, come back to this video, watch it more than once, mostly to look at the cards. Right? So scroll over, click the video, scroll toward the end, hit the pause button, and just gaze into the cards. Open your screen up wide. And, okay, so here's what's coming through. It's really interesting. Spirit saying, open it up, big on your phone or your computer screen. And then allow yourself to play some music, whatever ignites your soul passion, Spirit says, so that you can just do whatever you're doing around the house, while you're cooking or while you're cleaning dishes, whatever, and just allow the music to carry you deep, whatever music inspires you, and so that every once in a while you can look into the cards. There apparently is information and energy coming through to you in that way, and you now have the ability to receive it, which is, what could be better than that, right? I'm very happy, given the nature of my little existence. I'm really excited. It makes perfect sense to me. I hope that you will see the ways in which this makes perfect sense to you in light of your own journey, because it is your destiny unfolding in the way that is right for your particular life. Because this, more than any of the other readings, this reading says to me that phrase that Spirit's been talking about. You are your purpose. Once you reach this destination, the rest will unfold. And what you do with it will come out of the inspiration and the prophecy that is there in all these ways. So Virgo, have a wonderful month. I'm very much, of course, looking forward to seeing you and having another conversation in March. And I can't believe I'm saying the word March already. The days go so fast, it always blows my mind. So have a wonderful month. Keep your eyes open for the website. I'll probably make a little announcement somehow. Take some time if you can. Go deep. Light some candles. Go to church. Go to the temple. Go out in the woods and walk. Whatever you can do to be in touch in a quiet way with the deepest part of you. I'll be sending you my love and hugs, and I'll look forward to speaking with you in March. I'm going to leave you with the cards. Thank you, Virgo.